Will Swerve Strickland finally win the AEW World Heavyweight Championship? Keep watching if you want to know what I think. What is up, my peoples? Welcome to Everything is Wrestling. I am your host, Joel Fernandez, and today I want to talk about, of course, we are about 24 hours away from one of the best pay-per-view cards I've ever seen on paper, AEW Dynasty, coming live tomorrow, April 21st. Yeah, man, I'm really excited about this pay-per-view. I want to just talk about, preview everything that's going on. This card is stacked. And when I mean stacked, I mean stacked. This is honestly, I've been watching wrestling for years. I'm talking 20 plus years I've been watching wrestling. And I think this is probably one of the best cards on paper that I've ever seen. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait for tomorrow. I want to do some quick predictions and preview the whole card, starting with the 0 hour all the way to the main event. I got my little toy AEW belt. I know if you guys watched the WrestleMania predictions video, I had the actual World Heavyweight Championship, the big gold. But, you know, those are kind of expensive. So this one right here is the toy one that you can pick up at Walmart. I don't know if you can still pick it up at Walmart, but I did pick this up at Walmart a while back. I think it was on clearance when I bought it too. So I love the AEW title, though. It's beautiful, even in the toy version. So I'll be holding this just because I'm in the spirit today. I'll be holding it on my shoulder. But without further ado, let's get right into this card, this amazing stacked card. I'm going to start with the 0 hour because even the 0 hour has some bangers on it. So I'm going off of the SmackDownHotel.com right here. So shout out to them. I like the way they put their cards because they have the pictures of each superstar, each wrestler on this card as well. So you could kind of see who everyone is, obviously, but if you're a big fan, you already know who everyone is. But so 0 hour, the pre-show. I see we got some matches added this past week after Dynamite. Collision is in about 50 minutes, so I'm trying to get this video done so I can watch some Collision because I love Collision. I'm a freak, man. I like I like Rampage. I like Collision. I like all things wrestling. Everything is wrestling, like I like to say. So let's start off with the 0 hour. We got Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal, and this is a new Trent Beretta, the Trent Beretta that has turned his back on Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. We don't know if he's going to be part of him and Chuck Taylor are still going to be teaming, but for now it looks like Trent is on his singles run. I think this has been a really cool story. They've been building up this heel turn for a long time. If you've been paying attention, and that's the thing I always say with AEW. People say AEW doesn't have stories. No, they have stories. You just have to actually pay attention, which is cool because as a wrestling fan, I used to predict everything going on in WWE back in the day because it would be very blatant and obvious. With AEW, sometimes you got to really pay attention in order to get where they're going, and I really like that. But Trent Beretta, Matt Sydal. If you don't know, on Dynamite, Trent Beretta, Orange Cassidy was getting attacked by Shane Taylor Promotions. Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels came out to try to save him. Trent Beretta came with a chair and attacked both Daniels and Sydal because Trent doesn't want anybody saving Orange Cassidy. I like this new attitude from Trent. I don't see Trent losing this match. Obviously, it's too early in this new character for Trent. So Trent is definitely going to win this one, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Trent winning this one and continuing that story against OC and the rest of the Best Friends. And speaking of OC and the Best Friends, the next match on the 0 hour, and I think this is on purpose because I could see some type of shenanigans happening. We have Orange Cassidy, Katsuyori Shibata versus Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty of Shane Taylor Promotions. This match could be a sneaky banger. All four of these guys obviously can go. I got money on Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata winning this just because they are usually the ones who win these type of matches. Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty are very underrated, though, especially Shane Taylor. I know Lee Moriarty is kind of like a little bit of like a homegrown talent, so people kind of understand how good he is in the ring. But Shane Taylor, man, he is one of the best at trash talking in the ring that I've ever seen. His match against Danielson a couple weeks ago on Collision was really good. I really recommend going back and watching that match because Shane Taylor was talking so much trash throughout that whole match, and it just made it seem more believable. It seemed like a real fight. Like if you've ever been in a fight or if you ever seen a fight happen, you know the trash talking is 90% of the fight, and then there's 10% of the actual fighting. So this was just really real and felt good, and I really like that about Shane Taylor. He just also had a good match against Orange Cassidy on Dynamite. So I see Orange Cassidy and Shibata winning this match, but I do see some shenanigans happening between Trent and Orange Cassidy, and maybe we'll see something happening in the future with some type of match with Trent versus Shibata or Trent versus Orange Cassidy. Obviously, that's where they're going to end up going. After that, we have the Trios champions versus the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team Champions. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn versus Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn and Jay White. This is for unification, so the winner takes all. There'll be, I hope there'll only be one set of three trios champions instead of being two, because I think it's redundant. There's not enough people to have two trios divisions within ROH and AEW. I'm gonna go with I got two words for you: guns up. I'm gonna go with the BCG Bullet Club Gold. I got Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, and Jay White winning this and becoming the unified trios champions. And hopefully they retire either or. I don't know which ones they're going to retire. I'm kind of hoping they retire the AEW trios championships and keep the trios division to ROH, just because the tag team division has been lacking a little bit in AEW. And now I know that we got FTR and Bucks later on. And I think they're going to bring that back and bring that tag team division back to prominence where it was at one point, because the tag team division in AEW, honestly, is what got me into AEW. So I hope they get back to that and get rid of the trios belts, put them on ROH, and let Bullet Club Gold run that show, at least for now, until Jay White is ready to take that next step and get that singles title, which I hope happens soon, because I'm a really big fan of Jay White. But yeah, I'm going to go with Bullet Club Gold, bang, bang. Then we go to the main card. Main card is stacked, like I said. We're going to start off with another trio. We got Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, the ragtag group of like hard-nosed vets versus the House of Black, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King, the big dog, Brody King. I think, in my opinion, I like the story. Malachi is definitely gunning for Adam Copeland's TNT championship, which I know is going to be a championship match further down the road, maybe a Double or Nothing singles match. But for now, I think it's going to be House of Black winning this. They have to win. They haven't had like a dominant win on a pay-per-view in a while. So I feel like them just kind of destroying them, having a really good match. It could be long, it could be lengthy, but as long as the House of Black wins this, I think it just progresses that story better, and maybe you could have... The cool thing about this as well is that Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe are all singles champions in their own right. So maybe we could have some sort of back and forth here, since Adam Copeland is the TNT champion and Malachi Black is obviously gunning for that. We have Eddie Kingston, who is the New Japan Strong Openweight champion at the moment. Maybe he'll face off with Buddy Matthews or Brody King, and then Mark Briscoe being the new Ring of Honor World Championship. We actually won that championship off of Eddie Kingston. If you haven't watched Supercard of Honor, I recommend the really good main event match between Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston. They let bygones be bygones. They're teaming up together now, which is really cool. They had a shot of them in the locker room drinking some beers after their match. I thought that was cool, because even in the spirit of competition, you could still be friends with somebody. I like that. So I see this splitting into some sort of like maybe singles titles matches between all three of these guys against the House of Black. I think that could be pretty cool. It would be cool to see Brody King maybe step up and take on Mark Briscoe for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. I think Brody King deserves a singles title sooner rather than later. Dude's a beast. He's a monster. I saw him live on Dynamite a couple months back or years back, and he had a match against Moxley that was amazing. And I feel like he is ready for that singles titles push. So maybe after this House of Black win, we see all three of these guys go on and have some singles runs, because I think the House of Black is awesome, and I really think they could do more. So I'm excited for that. So I'm going to go final prediction. House of Black is winning this match, hopefully. After that, we have the FTW Championship. In the FTW rules match, Hook versus Chris Jericho. And the story here, Chris Jericho was trying to be Hook's mentor, and Hook was not having it. I mean, he was okay with it at first, and then after a while, he was not having it. Jericho showed his true colors, And Jericho ended up pushing Taz, Hook's father, on Dynamite. So now we have this FTW rules match. And I'm sorry to say it, but I don't want it to happen because I feel like this feud is kind of random. But I think Jericho's going to win it, man. I think Jericho's going to become the new FTW champion. And that's going to be interesting. He's definitely going to be a heel going forward. He seems like he's in that general direction. And I can see him doing something heelish to even win this, even though it is an FTW rules match, so anything goes. But I kind of see Jericho winning this and taking that FTW championship, and then Hook probably having to chase it back. They did have a match a couple weeks back, and Hook got the victory. So I think Jericho's going to get his victory back, and then we'll see a trilogy at the final match of a trilogy in a couple of weeks, maybe at Double or Nothing or something, or maybe on an episode of Dynamite or Collision. But I think for now, I think I'm going to go with Jericho winning the FTW championship, which is weird to say, to be honest. After that, man, this card is so stacked. We have the first women's match on the card, and this is how it's listed on this. I don't know if this is how the actual pay-per-view card is going to be, but the order of the card, but this is going to be the match next that I'm actually really excited about this match. The TBS championship match, Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. The story here has been awesome. Willow, I think a lot of people aren't realizing like that Willow's been chasing Julia Hart and Sky Blue for a long time, with Chris Statlander on her side and Stokely Hathaway on her side. And they've been having matches a long time. If you don't watch Collision, you don't watch Rampage, you're missing out on a lot of the story that's happening. So basically, Willow has been chasing Julia Hart. Willow and Sky Blue were tag teams a while back as well. So there's just a whole like weird four-way of these four women here that have kind of been involved with each other. Julia Hart pinned Chris Statlander to win that TBS championship in the triple threat match with Sky Blue there. Sky Blue has joined with Julia Hart. So we see that there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of things brewing within the TBS championship division. And then you add Mercedes Moné into the picture. She comes out of nowhere. She joins AEW at AEW Boston, big business. Shows up, calls her shot. A couple weeks later, says whoever wins this match, she's facing them at Double or Nothing. I don't think that's going to sit well with Willow. I don't think that's going to sit well with Julia Hart. We'll see what happens after this match. But I think I'm going to go with Willow winning this match, becoming the new TBS championship, and then automatically getting entered into this feud with Mercedes. And I honestly think it's going to lead to Mercedes Moné turning heel and Willow Nightingale being the big babyface, because chasing that TBS title down the line from Moné, because Moné has come in, called her shot, doesn't care about the rankings. It seems like she's the CEO, and she's all of a sudden getting a title shot at Double or Nothing. She could just call it. She hasn't even had a match. I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me. I don't think it sits right with Willow. If you've been paying attention, whenever Moné and Willow are in the same room, Willow kind of has like a sort of like a I don't trust this girl type face. So I feel like Willow's going to win this, and then we're going to see that big feud between Willow and Moné going into Double or Nothing. And I'm really excited about that feud, because if you don't know the history between them, Moné and Willow were in a match for the New Japan Open Strong Women's Championship. First time that title was ever created. Literally, that title was created for that match, and Mercedes Moné got injured in that match. Now, it wasn't Willow's fault. It was a freak accident. She just got injured. But Mercedes Moné, it seems like her character at the moment is blaming Willow for that. And to me, that sounds like heelish behavior. So I don't know what's going to happen down the road. But for now, I'm going to say Willow wins the TBS title, and we go on to that big feud between Moné and Willow. And I'm super excited about that. But I'm even more excited for the next match coming up. Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly for the AEW International Championship. Are you kidding me? Like, this card is so stacked. Like, these two members of the UE, the Undisputed Era, going on against each other. This is like two ROH legends. Like, this is a match that you would see back in the day on ROH and be like, yo, this match was incredible. But nobody else would watch it because it was on ROH back in the day. But now it's on a big stage. It's two veterans in the game. Kyle O'Reilly just got back. The story here is that Kyle O'Reilly got back, returned after Roddy Strong had won the International Championship. And it looks like Kyle O'Reilly's kind of been like maybe joining Undisputed Kingdom. Roderick Strong asked him. He was like, nah, I'm going to do this on my own. Kyle O'Reilly then, gets a couple victories against some pretty good wrestlers. Against Brian Keith, he had a great match. And then, the whole time, Roddy's like, hey, man, we're here if you need anything, you need it. And then Kyle O'Reilly's kind of just staring at that belt the whole time. Roddy finally asked him, like, hey, do you want a shot at this? And Kyle O'Reilly's like, now that you mention it, that'd be pretty cool. So Roddy's like, okay, cool. And then as soon as Roddy has a match with Rocky Romero, Roddy and the Undisputed Kingdom start beating up Rocky Romero after the match, after Roddy gets the victory. Kyle O'Reilly comes out to save Rocky Romero, help him out. That's his friend. Bam, Roddy hits him with the knee. And now we're on. We're on to a match between two former stablemates, Undisputed Era, Undisputed Elite. We're going to see Roddy Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly. I think this is going to be sneakily one of the best matches on the card if they're given enough time. I'm going to go with... this is a hard one to pick because I feel like Roddy Strong hasn't had the title long enough. But if I'm looking at the rest of the card, it kind of makes sense for Kyle O'Reilly to win because I think it is going to be a little bit more on the heel side. But I think my final answer is going to be Roddy Strong winning due to some interference from the Undisputed Kingdom guys. And then Kyle O'Reilly's going to keep chasing this match. I don't think this feud is over. This can't be a one and done. So I'm going to go with Roddy Strong as my final prediction. And yeah, I'm not completely sold on it, but I'm going to go with Roddy. Roddy for my final prediction. Bruh. It's like every time I scroll up on this match card, I'm like, no way that this is all happening on the same card. We have up next Kazuchika Okada versus Pac, the bastard Pac. Guys, do you understand how amazing this card is? Like, these are two of the best wrestlers on the planet, and we're getting them on live TV in the US for the first time. I don't know if this is the first time ever matchup, but first time I'll be seeing this matchup. Pac is one of my favorite wrestlers, like hands down. He's always crisp in the ring. He's been amazing. He's never let me down in the ring, even since his NXT days. When he was Neville, like the man who gravity forgot, when he was the NXT champion and he had matches against Sami Zayn and Tyson Kidd and Tyler Breeze. Like, I'm talking about, that's how long I've been following this guy's career. And now that he's on this big stage, he's been killing it in AEW. He's been on and off again with his travel stuff, but he seems like he's here for now. And he's going up against Kazuchika Okada, baby, in a big match on pay-per-view. Man, I can't believe this. This card is so stacked. The story here is Pac called out Okada. He wants the big fish. He came out. Okada and him have been kind of feuding back and forth. We have matches between him and Okada, the Young Bucks and Okada teaming up with Pac against Penta and Daniel Garcia on Dynamite. Okada and the Bucks won there. Tonight on Collision, we have Pac and FTR versus Okada and the Bucks. I'm going to say for this match on the actual pay-per-view, I'm going to go with Okada. He just won the belt not too long ago of Eddie Kingston. So I think Okada gets this victory, and I think it's going to be a banger of a match. I can't wait to see how Pac sells and bumps to the Rainmaker. I feel like he's going to do a quadruple flip to that damn clothesline. But I think I'm going to go with Okada for sure. After this, we have the second women's match of the night. We have Toni Storm, timeless Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa. I think Toni Storm is gonna win this one. I don't see Thunder Rosa getting the title anytime soon. She's an incredible wrestler still, but you could tell that she's still kind of learning how to wrestle, like with this new injury that she had. I think she had a back injury. So you could tell she's still a little stiff, and I don't think it's time for her to become the AEW Women's Champion. Not right now, at least. She's an incredible wrestler, don't get me wrong. I think this match is going to be great, but I think the true story here, and what we're going to see going forward, is Toni Storm and Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa, sorry. And that whole love triangle that's going on there. We got Forbidden Door coming up, so I see something happening there with Toni Storm and Mina. and Mariah May kind of being caught in the middle. And then I think what we're seeing down the road, maybe at All In, is Mariah May finally stepping up to Toni Storm. Mariah May is from London. It seems like a perfect match made in heaven. Mariah May finally stands up, stops taking Toni Storm's abuse, and now we have Mariah May and Toni Storm. Mariah May chasing that belt from Toni Storm for a while. That's what I see happening down the road. But for this match on Dynasty, I'm going to go with Toni Storm getting the victory over Thunder Rosa. And then we have the tag team ladder match for the tag team titles, the finals of the tag team tournament. FTR, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood versus the Young Bucks, Matthew Jackson and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks versus FTR in a ladder match. This match is probably going to be bananas. Like these two teams have always had classic matchups. This is their fourth matchup. This is their first time meeting up in a ladder match. The Young Bucks are really good at ladder matches. They've always been good at ladder matches since the indie days, since the ROH days, since the PWG days. FTR are the best tag team in the world. When they say that, I believe them because it's true. Every time they have a match, I am glued to the screen. But I think I'm going to go with the Young Bucks here. I think there's more in that story to have the Young Bucks win. And I think we're going to see a surprise debut here. I'm throwing it out there. I think we're going to see the debut of the Motor City Machine Guns coming out right after this match to challenge those Young Bucks and become their next challengers. Motor City Machine Guns have been free agents from TNA for a couple weeks. The rumor is that AEW signed them. No one knows for sure, but I have a feeling we're going to see that matchup in the future, and I can't wait because the Motor City Machine Guns are amazing. I can't wait to see them face off against the Bucks, FTR, all that stuff. Motor City Machine Guns do have some history with Okada too, so it could be kind of like them trying to get Okada to become a good guy again, something like that. But I see the Young Bucks winning this match for now in an incredible ladder match, and I can't wait to see it. Young Bucks, the Elite, they've been killing it. It's been really fun. Besides the whole CM Punk stuff, even though I didn't think it was that bad, the internet went crazy and thought it was the end of the world, but it wasn't bad. It was just them trying to be heels, which is cool. But I think the Bucks, this character of the Bucks with the tag team titles, with Okada with the Continental crown, it just makes sense that they're gonna have all three of them running the show for a bit, maybe until Omega comes back and it's like, hey, what the hell is this? Why are you guys hanging out with this guy? Omega and Okada have been rivals forever. I think there's a lot more story to tell here, so I'm gonna say the Bucks win the tag team titles and kind of hold those hostage for a while, which I don't mind because whenever the Bucks have the tag team championships, the AEW tag team division's on fire. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks winning this one. After this, we have what I think is gonna be the match of the night, the most anticipated match of the night for me. We have Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay. Yeah, that's right. First time ever. Two of the best wrestlers ever. You heard me right. Ever. Two of the best wrestlers of all time. And I know Will Ospreay is still young. I'm saying it now. He is one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen live. I got the chance to go to Forbidden Door last year in Toronto, and I saw him face off against Kenny Omega in the best match I've ever seen live in person. Those two are amazing. Bryan Danielson is amazing. Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay is going to be amazing. And I'm excited for this. I know a lot of people are like, the bar is at 6 stars. I'm not going to say all that because I don't want to jinx it. I think it's going to be a really good match because I think the clash of styles is going to be awesome. You got Daniel Bryan, who's a grounded wrestler. He wants to keep you on the ground. You have Will Ospreay, who's the aerial assassin, who wants to take it to the skies. He wants to be fast-paced. Danielson's going to slow him down, grind him down. And I think Danielson's going to end up getting the victory. And I think it makes sense because you don't want Ospreay to become this unbeatable giant. You want him to lose to someone eventually, and who better to lose to than Bryan Danielson? He's the GOAT. So you lose to the GOAT. Further down the road, you get that win back. But I think right now you lose to him, and that builds that story even more. I think we'll see some Don Callis family shenanigans here, but I think Ospreay's going to end up kind of leaving that faction, and I think that's where the story's going. I do think we'll probably get Anarchy in the Arena in Double or Nothing between Blackpool Combat Club and Don Callis' family. And I think with Mox, Claudio, Danielson, maybe Wheeler Yuta's back versus Ospreay, Fletcher, Hobbs, and Takeshita. I think that could be a fire match, Anarchy in Arena. But I think after that, we'll see Ospreay split from that group, become a full-on babyface, and then keep challenging and chasing that dragon in Danielson. And I think we'll see maybe All in London being Ospreay versus Danielson 2. And that's when Ospreay will get his big win. And then we have the main event of the evening. This card is so stacked, man. We're at the main event now, and I say hopefully Samoa Joe shines this bad boy up and kisses it goodbye, because he's going to be facing off against Swerve. Top rope, catch a 5. Garments. But nah, I think Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, main event of the evening. Swerve has been chasing this belt for a while now, for a couple months. Joe and Hangman Adam Page have made that very hard for him. The build for this has been really fun. Swerve signing the contract with his own blood was sick visual. The Samoa Joe just hitting him with a chain over and over again, punch wrapped around his hands. Incredible build. I'm very excited for this match. I think my heart says Swerve Strickland, and I want Swerve Strickland to win this championship more than like any other modern wrestler. I'm rooting for this guy. He is my favorite wrestler at the moment. It's been that for a while. I've said it before in some of my other videos. Swerve Strickland is my favorite wrestler in the moment, and I'm really rooting for him to get this beautiful championship. But for some reason, my head is telling me no. My head is telling me Samoa Joe is going to retain the championship. And the reason why is because of a certain millennial cowboy that has been away for a long time. And we haven't seen him for a couple weeks. And no one's spoken about him on the show. It's very weird. He just kind of disappeared one day. And I don't think that's it. I think he's going to come back with a vengeance. And if you remember, he said it before he left. He said this to Swerve Strickland, I will never let you be a champion as long as I'm here. And I believe Hangman. I think Hangman's going to interrupt this match. I think he's going to cause the victory for Swerve. Samoa Joe is going to retain the championship, and I think we're going to get Hangman versus Swerve 4, and I think it's going to be the most bloodiest hardcore death match, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be some crazy barbed wire or something. They're gonna pull out all the stops, and it's going to be Hangman versus Swerve at Double or Nothing for everything, and that's going to be his final test before he finally could beat Samoa Joe for the championship at All in London. I don't know if they could stretch it that far, but I think that's what we end up seeing. So don't be surprised. I want Swerve Strickland to win. If he does win, I'll be happy as hell. But I have a feeling that cowboy, that gosh darn cowboy, is going to show up, and he's going to cause my main man Swerve the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and Samoa Joe will still be at the end of the night with this, there you go, with this belt raised up high. And that's my predictions for AEW Dynasty, coming to you live tomorrow from St. Louis, Missouri. I can't wait. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll be back to talk about what happened on the show. But for now, make sure you guys enjoy that. And yeah, peace out.